Hello, welcome. This is a Realtor, and we are here once again to bring you an enlightening segment, a discussion that I believe will help somebody who is out there looking for a way to construct. I believe there's so much going around in the airwaves, in the construction areas, but why we're here is because there's an avenue that I strongly believe will help you understand that it's not necessarily all what is said. Until you get to the bridge that you cross the river, I am here to give you this very wonderful segment. Now, we shall be talking about an alternative way of construction, away from the conventional one, away from what we are used to when it comes to concrete. Remember, we talked about the materials used when you want to do your floors and your driveways, and we covered about the cabros. Now, today I want us to talk something close to that, but a little different, because this will help you save a lot on costing, on time, and more so even on design. We are talking about the precast construction materials. Now, I am joined by an expert. I'm Robert Dongo, the host, and here I have Mr. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Introduce yourself, tuambie wewe ni nani na tunafanya nini hapa.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Right.
My name is George Mutua. I'm the CEO of Global Precast Panels. Global Precast Panels is a construction company, but we do it differently. We don't use the traditional method, which is brick and mortar. So we have an alternative, which is precast, and we have all construction materials in precast. That is from the walls to the floor slab to the staircase to the perimeter wall. So we have a solution which also falls in the affordable housing, and we are saying yes, we can change the way we've been doing business, especially in the construction industry.
Exciting. Anytime I believe anyone hears of affordable housing, there's something that comes in our mind. I would love you maybe to tell us, maybe first things first, define to us what precast is for the first timer.
Precast is an alternative to the normal concrete that we are used to, or to the normal concrete that we know. The difference is that precast is made at a factory setup like where we are, so we manufacture. So to bring this to perspective, what you're saying is that we can precast or we can manufacture your house here. Then what we need to do is just transport. When we come to your site, it becomes more of an assembly than the normal construction. So it is not any different from the concrete that you're used to, because it is concrete with the right aggregates, with the steel, with the reinforcement, curing and all that. The difference is that now this is done at a factory, then now we transport it to your site when it is ready. So it's more or less the same, but now done in a controlled environment.
All right. So not necessarily what we say. I believe a majority will talk about Koroga Day, the Koroga Day, or even the premix that we are used to, and having them on construction site. You come for assembling and maybe filling.
So when you mention Koroga, we are saying one and the same thing.
Yes.
It is the same thing, but it's only that now we do it here in a factory using machinery, and now it comes ready. So that's the only difference.
No, I believe we have had this in the past, but I would love you to give us a picture of what you mean when you say that when you come to the site, it's more of assembling. Just paint a picture from the floor. You've mentioned the floor, the walling, and also the slab up there.
To bring you closer home, anytime you're doing construction, you need a house plan, which is drawn by a professional and an architect for that matter. So once you have that plan, you know what exactly you want, and you even know how your house is going to look like at the end of the day. So once you walk into our offices with your plan, you're able to see it, and we're able to see the design and know what kind of a house that you're looking at. So we take that plan and create or produce or manufacture the materials as per the specifics as per that plan. Now, a house has different parts or different segments. If it's the foundation, what kind of a foundation are we looking at? If it's the walls, what height are we talking about? If it's the windows, what are the size of the windows? If it's the floor slab. So we take all these materials, we manufacture them as per the specifics. Now, what I mean by assembly is all these materials will be put ready. We have them ready. The moment we come to your site, everything goes to where it's supposed to go. If it's the walls, we have short walls, we have long walls, we have half walls, maybe where you have windows and all that. So you know each bit is supposed to go here. If it's the slab, this slab comes custom made. You know where you are leaving spaces for the staircase, for example, where the roof is open and stuff like that. So we put all these materials ready, bring them to you. So when we come there, because the materials have been custom made as per that plan, then the assembly or the construction is easy and it is very precise.
Interesting. Now we have assembled. You have the plan. It is you have manufactured the products or the materials as per the plan. I believe someone there will not get it. Will not have the first the first grip of the prepared materials. We've talked about the floor slabs. We've talked about the beams and also the walls. Now maybe I wanted to start with what you're so much known for, the beams, because I think they are the mother product in the whole picture. How do you go about these beams, and why do you think, or you as a company have considered these beams as a thing of priority in your operations?
We've actually realized that most of the people struggle and people suffer when doing construction because there are no clear-cut solutions. Just imagine a normal ordinary house where you have to buy sand, you buy cement, you buy stones, you buy reinforcement and all those things that come with it. It is very difficult for someone even to approximate and tell you this is the cost of the house. Actually, if you move around and you see people's houses that have stalled, it's because of that gap. It is not, the market has not been very good in terms of giving right quantities or right quotations that you can actually work with. So since we are guided by a plan, we know what that house needs. So we are able to get the materials right. We are able to custom make. That means now when we even come for the assembly, there is no wastage. There is no time also taken so much because everything will come and it will fall into place. So we've learned this from the experience we went through, because there is a lot of gaps and people are doing a lot of guesswork, or you have a quotation, then there's a lot of variance. Now with the precast, for example, with the walls, if you take this wall, you know the dimensions. So it is very easy for me to tell you you need only 5 pieces and you're good. Unlike the other traditional methods whereby you will have to approximate the number of stones that you need, or the bricks for that matter, how many bags of cement, how many tons of ballast and sand and all that. So we are very precise, and that is what has helped us be where we are and understanding best what our client needs.
And maybe somebody will come asking about the quality assurance. And as a company, I know you have your measures and your parameters to make sure that this happens. Do you have different gauges and different qualities when it comes to the same, or is it just standard?
Like I mentioned earlier, we rely on the customer's plan. So for this case, there are two things. We have the architectural and the structural bit. So we look at what the engineer has recommended. So as we make our products, we have different classes. If it's the slab, what kind of recommendations are there? What kind of reinforcement has been put down by the engineer? If it's the walls, it's the same thing. So we are not doing anything that is different. It's only that we take what the engineers already drafted, and that's what we are going to work with. So we have different classes of cement, for example, class 15, 20, 25, 30. And these are the recommendations that we are able to get from the structural drawing. If it's the staircase, what are we looking at in terms of the steepness? Those dimensions are always there in any kind of a building. If it's the floor slab, for example, what weight are we anticipating? Is the client going to put water tanks there, or what is going to be the functions of these floor slabs? So all those things come into play. And now we make these products depending on what has been provided by the expert or by the engineer. Maybe to give you an example, you've used the expressway and you realize that it wasn't built there. apart from a few segments. So most of it was being manufactured somewhere at a factory, and then what the Chinese were doing there is mostly the assembly. It is the same concept. Now you see, when you're doing that, you need to know the load that you're carrying. What kind of vehicles are we looking at, having in the expressway? What are the traffic behaviors? Take the SGR as well, because it was built using the same concept. What are we looking at? What were the structural engineers' recommendations? And even for precast for houses, that is what we go by, and it's not any different.
Exactly. Thank you very much. And I believe you are getting to hear of this precast, the beams, the floor slabs, and all this put together. After this break, we shall be back and we shall be talking about the durability, the cost implication, the delivery that maybe they offer, and all this put together. And the picture we shall be having at the end of this segment is your house complete more efficiently, more more costly effectively, and all this put together. Thank you. Don't go away. After this short break, we shall be right back. Welcome back. This is a Realtor, and today I'm hosted by the CEO, Global Precast Panels Limited, Mr. George Mutua. And what he is doing is just disintegrating or breaking down what we call the precast panels or construction materials on concrete. Why these? He is here to tell us more. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
I'm so delighted to be with you because I can see some sense of a solution in the construction market. Now, before we left, you talked about the quality of what you're selling, and you said it is in accordance with what is prescribed by the architect or the expert on that side. Now, sometimes when we are constructing, we happen to go to the shop and not consider that part. Maybe for small scale, someone who wants to build a two bedroom somewhere. We go to the quarry, buy materials, and do it by ourselves. Do you have such provision for someone who can, the category we may call the walk-in?
Yes, and that's why we are here. Actually, most of our clients are small scale people who are owning homes for the first time, institutions and all that. So we offer that service. And I started by saying what we need from you is a plan. Sometimes if you do not have a plan, we are able to do that for you. And now when you're also talking about precast, we are not just selling you materials, we are doing the entire process. That means if you don't have a plan, we'll draw for you. If you do not have an engineer, we will do the service for you at no extra cost, and we will do the construction, everything. So we offer 360 degrees. Now, talking of which, when you look at the materials or when you look at how people have been constructing, there is a lot of inconsistency, and that's what I started by saying. Many people are not able to get it right, and that's why we are here to give you the advice and to make sure that we build for you easily and conveniently. Now, if for example you're an institution, you realize that this is the longest holiday, which is only 2 months. How much are you able to do as a school if you're to do the traditional brick and mortar, because of the curing period and all that? So you see, for such institutions, what would not have been achieved using the traditional brick and mortar, as global precast, we're able to do that. What that means is that once you have your plan, we're able to plan in advance. Schools close in November. Within 1 month, you have a whole block of classroom administration, dormitories and all that, which can be done from zero to finish before the schools open in January. You are not able to achieve that with the normal brick and mortar because of the curing period that is required. That would mean maybe you will need to do this project in many years, okay? Number two, if you're also looking at maybe commercial buildings, you want to get your tenants within the shortest time possible. How much time do you require when you're using precast vis-a-vis the traditional brick and mortar? So for us, we're able to take half of the time that you would have needed. Then number two, we are working with a precise quotation, because you've heard those stories of, you know, in the middle of the construction and then you're being told you need to add as a few bags of cement, sand, or the work is stalling. So with precast, you eliminate that. Then number three, because of speed, your labor cost reduces by up to 50%, because I said we plan everything here, we are coming for an assembly. That means we'll be at your site maybe for 2-3 weeks, which you cannot compare with someone who will be at your site constructing for you for the next 6 months. So those are some of the factors that you look at.
In other words, you're saying what you do is what you do plus what another food is doing. Now you have squeezed it back by preparing everything ready. Now, I have heard them say, when the deal is too good, you need to think twice. And it sounds this deal is so good. What are the risks that could be associated with the precast?
Actually, the deal is not too good. It's only that we've taken maybe some bit of time to embrace technology, because if you move around the world, other countries, they're using precast because they don't have the quarry stones that we have. Right. What people commonly call Daru and all that. So if you look at maybe in cities that are growing very fast, like China, you know, UAE, just here in Dubai and all that, you realize that they're doing their constructions very fast and quickly. And it's because they embraced the technology a while back. Now, for us, you need to be ready with the finances, because everything needs to come ready, unless maybe you're saying I can do this project in phases. Otherwise, you need to be ready with all the materials, because you are not coming to take forever. Now, the deal is good because, you know, technology makes life easier or changes many things. For example, if I tell you these precast, the walls, they come ready with the provisions for electricals and plumbing. You don't need to hack, you don't need to plaster, you'll just come assemble your conduits for electricals and plumbing, you run them within a day, and then the following day you can think of roofing and painting. How good is the deal? I mean, that's what technology is there for. So I think it takes maybe people to get to understand. Then again, everything comes custom made. If you know the height of your wall, that is what you're bringing. You are not coming to take forever to figure out what height you needed, what size of a window are we looking at, and all that. So it's more of planning, and I know, and with technology, which helps you plan. That is why it looks like the deal is too good, but it's because you're able to plan, and then technology eliminates wastage, eliminates time, and then some of the things like I've mentioned, plumbing and electricals, we've already done them for you.
All right. So I think what I've been able to capture from here, the only thing that can distance someone who is watching this from maybe coming for such a product is the ready money, the ready cash. Because, you know, we have this tendency of having a deal with the hardware somewhere that even when I don't have money, my hardware can supply cement, can supply steel and this. But for this one, you need to get it right, because for them, they have to do all this work prior. And what will be getting to your site is ready materials. I mean, materials ready for fixing, and generally, and your house will be up in just a short time, depending on many factors, as he has explained. Now, when you're talking about, you know, we're ready now and we have the house, it is there. How is the market uptake now, this being not a too old technology in Kenya?
Maybe let me elaborate on the money bit also, because it's good for people to understand. When I mean that you need to have money, it is not always that you need to have that money, because we also have what we call jenga pole pole. Jenga pole pole is that you can come, say I have this much, you place a deposit, then we say we will do the foundation, wait for a few months, then we do the walling, then we do a roofing. Now, we've been building pole pole, but in a different way. Traditionally, someone will buy sand and put it at the site. You buy stones and put them there, and then you say, I'm coming to build next year. Now, what happens to your sand when it rains like today? You're back to square one. Sure. So we have those options. You can buy your precast in, you know, as in phases, depending on how you can afford. Now, in terms of market response, people are appreciating technology and they're understanding where we are coming from, and because we are here to give a solution. That's why we are talking about cutting costs, giving you the convenience, you know, eliminating the headache of you losing your sand and cement and whatever to whoever knows, because those conversations are always there. So we are giving you solutions. So people who have listened to us and they have understood, they're embracing. Then number two, we are able to do the impossibilities. The impossibilities, I'm saying you have a classroom here, you need to add another floor on top. On a normal day, it means you'll need to come and do formwork here for you to support this roof. You koroga, you wait for God knows how long, and then you proceed. So it means you're not able to proceed. But with now precast, you're able to do that. If it's a story building, you don't even need your tenants to move out. You can actually do that because you're not interfering with this floor, because the slabs will come ready, the walls will come ready. So look at it, you know, maybe commercially, schools, institutions like hospitals and all that. So we're able to do that. So people are embracing that because they can already see the benefits.
Wait, Mr. Cyril. Now, when you talk about that, just this clicks in my mind. Do you think what you have is an alternative or cure to what you have been having stories of buildings coming down?
This is a solution, because then again I said when you look at it, you use machinery here, and I think you should be able to see them. We use machinery and we are doing everything in a factory. This is more of manufacturing. What ails the market is you know, poor workmanship, and you know, maybe no supervision or little supervision at all. But all of our materials are coming from a factory. What that tells you is that whatever you're going to use, whatever material that you're going to use has been certified. We are using automated machinery. We have a site engineer who is responsible for quality checks and all that. So we are very safe when we go precast. That's why I'm telling you, Expressway is a precast, and you're comfortable driving there, and I don't think anyone is worried about that.
We are very safe on it.
Exactly.
Now, in your own thinking, do you think there's longevity when it comes to use of these materials, or it will be, you know, it will fade away in the near future?
Precast is the future. I think even if you have to go back where we are coming from, we've been using you know, quarry stones and all that. How strong are they nowadays? The rock that our forefathers were using is not the same, so it means even the quality. And then for how long are we going to have that? You know, a few years from now, we'll not even have quarries to go and, you know, harvest stones and all that. Number two, you also look at the environmental impact. For example, if you want to do a slab, you know, we are planting trees, we are harvesting trees. what are we doing, where are we going? So this is the way to go, and I think the earlier that we embrace technology and embrace precast, the better, because this is the future. We will not have those quarry stones. In fact, sometimes if we don't take care of our environment, we'll not even have the trees to do the formwork and all that. So we'll have to move that direction.
Wow. Your last one to these viewers, kindly.
Precast is the way to go. Precast will save your time, money, and will give you something that is very beautiful. All the headache that has been associated with the traditional brick and mortar, the inconsistencies, the loss of construction materials, to the fundis wanting to overstay at your site, we are eliminating that by giving you a conducive way of doing your construction, and you'll never regret.
So all you need to do is just to talk to this gentleman and your house will be done depending on the size. But if they can do an institution in 2 months, then your house, I believe it is a matter of weeks or a month, and your house will be ready. Now, I am so delighted because I believe this is a technology that is taking up the market. As he has said, sometime to come, we shall not be talking about quarries, we shall not be talking about available materials for construction. It's good we get used to what the future is having for us here in Kenya, and even to the global at large. Now, this has been the Realtor, and the show is all about the precast construction materials. We were hosted by Mr. George from Global Precast Panels Limited, and they are based in Kitengela, but that does not mean they will not come to your way. They deliver across the nation. Could you be having any question? Kindly channel that question to our social media handle. That's the Realtor TV47, and we shall ask him to respond, because as usual, he's the expert and we are not. Thank you so much for keeping it here. I've been your host, Robert Dongo, and until next time, God bless you.